Good morning, everyone. Ang topic ko po ngayon ay 20th century theories. Heinrich Schenker. He was a music theorist, music critic, teacher, pianist, and composer. He is best known for his approach, now usually called Schenkerian analysis. Then we have Arnold Schoenberg. In the 1920s, Schoenberg developed the 12-tone technique, an influential compositional method of manipulating an ordered series of all 12 notes in the chromatic scale. He also coined the term developing variation and was the first modern composer to embrace ways of developing motifs without resorting to the dominance of a centralized melodic idea. Marion Bower. Marion Eugenie Bower was an American composer, teacher, writer, and music critic. She played an active role in shaping American musical identity in the early half of the 20th century. Her music included dissonance and extended terrain, quartal, and quinta harmonies, though it rarely goes outside the bounds of extended tonality. Boris Vladimirovich Astafyev was a Russian and Soviet composer, writer, musicologist, musical critic, and one of the founders of Soviet musicology. He is the dedicatee of Prokovlev's First Symphony. Astafyev had a strong influence on Soviet music. Now we have Juliette Nadja Boulanger. Is a French music teacher and conductor. She taught many of the leading composers and musicians of the 20th century and also performed occasionally as a pianist and organist. She is from a musical family. She achieved early honors as a student at Conservatoire de Paris, but believing that she had no particular talent as a composer, she gave up writing music and became a teacher. In that capacity, she influenced generations of young composers, especially those from the United States and other English-speaking countries. Adele Therese Katz. She was a music teacher and theorist and author. She was the first person to publish English language writings about Schenkerian analysis. Nikolai Leonidovich Slonimsky is a Russian-born American conductor, author, pianist, composer, and lexicographer. Best known for his writing and musical reference work, he wrote the Thesaurus of Scales and Melodic Patterns and the Lexicon of Musical Invective. Paul Hindemith. He founded the Amar Quartet in 1921, touring extensively in Europe. As a composer, he became a major advocate of new such Liszket style of music in the 1920s. Felix Seltzer was an Austrian-American music theorist, musicologist, and pedagogue. He was one of the principal followers of Heinrich Schenker and did much to refine and explain Schenkerian analysis after Schenker's death. Olivier Messiaen was a French composer, organist, and ornithologist, one of the major composers of the 20th century. His music is rhythmically, harmonically, and melodically complex. He employs a system he called modes of limited transposition, which he abstracted from the system of material generated by his early composition and improvisation. Milton Byron Babbitt, an American composer, music theorist, mathematician, and teacher. He is particularly noted for his serial and electronic music. Edward Toner Cohn, an American composer, music theorist, pianist, and philanthropist. Cohn is known for his contribution to music criticism and analysis. Also composed a significant body of music. His scholarly work addressed musical form and aesthetic, particularly question of rhythm and musical phrasing. Yanis Xenakis. He pioneered the use of mathematical models such as application of set theory, stochastic process, and game theory, and was also an important influence on the development of electronic and computer music. George Allen Russell, an American pianist, composer, arranger, and theorist. He is considered one of the first jazz musicians to contribute to general music, with a theory of harmony based on jazz rather than European music. In his book Legion Chromatic Concept of Tonal Organization, Jaroslav Volek was a set musicologist, semiotician, who developed a theory of modal music. His theory included ideas of polymodality and alteration of notes that is called flex, which resulted in what he called the system of flexible diatonic. Joseph Kerman was an American critic and musicologist, one of the leading musicologists of his generation. His 1985 book, Contemplating Music Challenges to Musicology, was described by Philip Brett in the Grove Dictionary of Music and Musician as a defining moment in the field. Then we have Erno Lendvai. He was one of the first music theorists to write on the appearance of the golden section and Fibonacci series and how these are implemented in Bartók's music. He also formulated the axis system, acoustic scale, and the alpha chord. Karl-Heinz Stockhausen was a German composer widely acknowledged by critics as one of the most important controversial composers of the 20th and early 21st century. He is known for his groundbreaking work in electronic music for introducing controlled chants into serial composition and for musical spatialization. He has arguably done more to transform 20th and 21st century music than any other single composer, from surrealism to electronic music. David Benjamin Lewin is an American music theorist, music critic, and composer. He was called the most original and far-ranging theorist of his generation. He did his most influential theoretical work on the development of transformational theory, which involved the application of mathematical group theory to music. Edward Aldwell. As a theorist, he was an expert in Schindlerian analysis, and he was the co-author of one of the standard theory textbooks used throughout the United States. Then we have William E. Kaplan. He is an American music theorist in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Kaplan served as president for the Society of Music Theory from 2005 to 2007. His early work concentrated on the history of music theory, but he is best known for a series of articles and two books on musical form in European music around the 1800s. The first of those books is Classical Form, a Theory of Formal Function for the Music of Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven, has been widely influential and was a major factor in the revival of interest in musical art form in North American music theory. Then we have Dmitry Timoshko. As a theorist, he has published more than 2 dozens of articles dealing with topics related to contemporary tonality, including scales, voice leading, and functional harmonic norm. His article, The Geometry of Musical Chords, was the first music theory article ever published